Hey, so I have a question for you. Should we be thankful for COVID? That's what I've been wrestling with, and we're going to talk about that. But my name's Pastor Addison, and this is Everything Church Pro. And we began Everything Church Pro because there are so many people out there who struggle to study the Bible for themselves. They struggle to find it interesting. They struggle to find the time, right? And so we have these videos and a podcast that we do every morning with the goal of helping you jump into the Bible for yourself and mine out all of those juicy nuggets. And so if that's interesting to you, make sure you join the Everything Church Pro fam. Just look down there, hit that subscribe button, and we have some exciting news coming out very soon. Like, I can't tell you yet, but I'm very excited about some of the things that are coming up in the near future. I wanted to go live really quickly, and I apologize if you hear any background noise. I mean, I'm standing in my little office at home with holding a mic right here, so I apologize if there's sound issues or anything. But I did want to do a little Thanksgiving episode, and I am so thankful for each and every one of you. Like, we just crossed 2,500 subscribers, and so thank you guys. I'm super excited about all that God's doing with each and every one of our lives, and the ones of you who reach out to me and we get to talk a little bit. Super excited for all God's doing in your ministries, in your lives, and so I'm thankful for you. But I did want to wrestle with this tough question, a question I've been thinking about. Should we be thankful for COVID-19? I was thinking as I was reading through Thessalonians, and he says, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you." And honestly, I was thinking about some things in my life that I'm like, I don't know. Can I really be thankful in those things or for those things? It seems like that's an impossibility to be thankful for some of these hard times, for some of these bad things. Does God really expect us to be thankful in everything? And so I was reading through The Hiding Place a while back, and I came across a story that impacted me so incredibly. And I think it was towards the end of the book. I could be wrong. But where Corrie ten Boom, she's taken with her sister Betsy to a concentration camp. And as they're at this concentration camp, there are fleas everywhere just biting her. And she was complaining about the fleas, and she's wondering, how are we supposed to get through this? And so her sister Betsy prays to God and asks God, how do you want us to get through this? And then Betsy looks at Corey and says, "Hey, Corey, I've got it. God has already shown us what we need to do. He told us this morning in our devotions. We were in Thessalonians. Go back." And so they begin looking through it, and they go to the verse we talked about, "In everything give thanks." And so Betsy says, "Corey, we need to begin thanking God for everything that's going on right now." And so she begins to thank God for keeping them together. And she begins to thank God for the cramped quarters. And Corey's like, "What are you talking about? How can we thank God for the cramped quarters?" And Betsy's like, "Because now there are more people who we can talk to about Jesus. And we can begin to share the gospel with." And then Betsy says this. She says, "And God, I thank you for the fleas. I thank you for the fleas." And Corrie ten Boom looks at her sister and says, "Okay, that's too far. You're crazy. I cannot thank God for the fleas. That's just crazy." And so time went on, and they began to, have a little Bible study. They were able to keep a little Bible. They weren't searched, and that was another thing they thanked God for that day. But they began to have a little Bible study in their barracks, and they did it quietly at first. They didn't want people to know that they were having this Bible study. And so they'd have it quietly at first, and after a while, with no guards coming in and breaking it up and them not getting punished, they began to get a little bolder, and they began to have not just one service, but they began to have two services. And they just had tremendous freedom, and they began to wonder, man, why are there never any guards that come into our room? I mean, there's guards in the main area. There's guards always walking around, or they never come into our place. Well, one day there were some people in her barracks who were disputing about the right sock size, I think it was, on how to make the socks the right way. And so they invited the superior officer to come in and check what was going on and resolve the issue, but the superior officer wouldn't come in. And neither would any of the soldiers. And they're like, why aren't you coming in? Why won't you help us resolve this issue? And do you know what the answer was? The fleas. You see, God had protected Corey and her sister Betsy from these soldiers who could have broken this up, who could have hurt them. And he used the fleas to keep them safe. And it's amazing. It hit her like a ton of bricks. And as I hear the story, it hits me like a ton of bricks that God can use the uncomfortable times in our lives for his glory and for his benefit. And so, friend, I don't know what you're going through today. I don't know if you've lost a job. I don't know if you're going through a relational struggle. I don't know if it's a health issue, but I do know this. If you are a believer in Jesus, God will use everything in your life for good. And so we can, in every circumstance, give God thanks. We can thank God during this crazy time. And so I encourage you, I know tomorrow's Thanksgiving. We have family here today, and I know you probably have family coming over, if they're not already over, coming over tomorrow, roasting that delicious turkey. May we just have an attitude of gratitude. I know it can be easy to get discouraged, but friend, take heart. God will use crazy circumstances for his glory. And so I hope you all have a great and wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm going to look over here and end this live here. And so I'm thankful for any of you who were able to jump in, but I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.